Millions of Americans grab a bottle of water off a grocery store shelf every day, trusting that the label means what it says. Clean liquid, clear plastic, a mountain spring printed on the front. We pulled independent laboratory data on 13 of the most popular bottled water brands in America, covering microplastics, PFAS forever chemicals, heavy metals, and source transparency. The results do not match the packaging. Some of the worst findings didn't come from the budget bottles in gas station coolers. They came from the premium brands marketed to health-conscious families paying $4 for water they assumed was clean. One brand pleaded guilty to a federal crime involving hazardous waste from its own bottling plant. You'll recognize every name on this list. I'm Nathan Cross. We're counting down all 13 from concerning to alarming, then finishing with how to choose bottled water that's actually worth buying. Number 13. Sam's Choice. This is Walmart's store brand water, the bottle that fills carts across America because it costs less than $1. Sam's Choice is sourced from municipal water supplies, filtered, and repackaged in thin plastic. The Environmental Working Group has connected several municipal sources Walmart draws from to detectable levels of disinfection byproducts and industrial solvents. Walmart generated over $650 billion in revenue last year. Sourcing cleaner water at that scale is not a financial limitation. It is a margin decision. Budget price, municipal tap water, and the next brand charges significantly more for the exact same problem. Number 12. Aquafina. PepsiCo spent years positioning Aquafina as something pure and elevated. Then, in 2007, public pressure forced them to change the label and admit what researchers had already confirmed. Aquafina is purified municipal tap water, the same water running through city treatment plants in whatever region the bottling facility operates, processed through reverse osmosis, sealed in plastic, and sold back to you at a markup exceeding 2,000%. PepsiCo pulls in over $90 billion annually. They could source spring water tomorrow. Instead, they bottle the cheapest input available and let the label do the work. Number 11. Dasani. Coca-Cola's entry into the bottled water market follows the same formula PepsiCo already proved. Dasani is filtered tap water with minerals added back after purification. Read the ingredient panel on the blue plastic bottle. Magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, and salt. Coca-Cola is adding sodium to your drinking water. Independent researchers have noted that these additives can produce a salty finish that may increase thirst rather than quench it. A water brand that might make you thirstier. Remember the name Coca-Cola. They show up on this list 2 more times. Number 10. Smart Water. Same parent company, Coca-Cola. Smart Water is vapor distilled and marketed to fitness communities through sleek branding and celebrity endorsement campaigns. The process strips everything from municipal source water, then adds a proprietary electrolyte blend. Independent microplastic analysis has found synthetic polymer particles in smart water samples at rates consistent with other single-use plastic bottles. You're paying a $3 premium for Coca-Cola's second entry on this list, dressed in different packaging. Number 9. Voss. The cylindrical bottle from Norway that shows up on restaurant tables and influencer flat lays across Instagram. Voss positions itself as artesian water from a pristine Scandinavian aquifer. The majority of Voss bottles sold in American stores are plastic, not the signature glass. And a sourcing investigation found the water originates from a municipal supply in the small town of Iveland, Norway, not from a glacial formation. You're paying $5 for the shape of the container. Number 8. Core Hydration. Owned by Keurig Dr. Pepper, Core markets itself as the alkaline water for the wellness crowd. The bottle advertises a 7.4 pH balanced with electrolytes for your body's natural state. Independent researchers have found no peer-reviewed evidence that alkaline water provides any health benefit beyond standard hydration. The pH changes the instant water contact's stomach acid. Coors marketing makes a claim that sounds scientific until you check the actual science. Keurig Dr. Pepper generates $14 billion in annual revenue. They are not confused about the research. They are choosing to sell around it. Number 7. Ice Mountain. Now the pattern changes. Ice Mountain is owned by Blue Triton Brands, formerly Nestle Waters North America. Consumer Reports tested dozens of bottled water brands for PFAS contamination in 2020 and found detectable levels of forever chemicals across multiple Blue Triton products. PFAS are synthetic compounds that do not break down in the human body or the environment. They accumulate in your blood, your organs, and your tissue with every exposure. Ice Mountain's label shows pine forests and snow-capped peaks. The laboratory results describe something else. And Blue Triton is just getting started on this list. Number 6. Deer Park. Same parent company, Blue Triton. Deer Park is sourced primarily from springs across Maryland and the Mid-Atlantic, areas where agricultural runoff and industrial discharge have been documented concerns for decades. Independent testing has flagged Deer Park for PFAS at levels exceeding some state safety thresholds, even when they fall below the federal ceiling. The packaging shows a deer standing in a pristine forest clearing. The source draws from lands surrounded by highways, development, and commercial agriculture. If this investigation is already changing how you think about the water aisle, you're roughly halfway through. The next brands are where the gap between label and lab results gets significantly wider, including one that pleaded guilty to a federal environmental crime. Number 5. Arrowhead. Third Blue Triton brand. Arrowhead has drawn water from the San Bernardino National Forest in California for over a century, and environmental groups have challenged whether that permit was ever properly authorized. In 2021, a state investigation found Arrowhead pulling significantly more water than allowed during a historic drought that left California reservoirs at record lows. PFAS testing from independent labs places Arrowhead in the same contamination range as every other Blue Triton product on this list. One parent company now holds 3 consecutive entries, with 2 more ahead. Number 4. Poland Spring. Blue Triton again. Poland Spring has been marketed as natural spring water since 1845. In 2017, a class action lawsuit in Connecticut federal court alleged that Poland Spring does not meet the FDA's legal definition of spring water. The suit claimed the sources are ordinary groundwater wells, not natural springs. Blue Triton settled portions of that litigation. The label still reads natural spring water. 5 brands, 1 parent company, 1 supply chain. The variety on the shelf is a packaging decision, not a sourcing one. Number 3. Crystal Geyser. This is where the list takes a different turn. In 2018, federal prosecutors in Los Angeles charged Crystal Geyser Water Company with illegally storing and transporting hazardous waste from its Olancha, California bottling plant. The waste was arsenic. Crystal Geyser had been trucking arsenic-laced wastewater and discharging it into the surrounding environment. In 2021, the company pleaded guilty and paid a criminal fine. The brand is still on store shelves. Green label, mountain graphic, the word natural printed across the front. A company convicted of a federal crime involving arsenic still sells you water positioned as pure. Number 2. Topo Chico. The sparkling mineral water beloved by bartenders, restaurant owners, and the craft cocktail scene across America. Topo Chico was acquired by Coca-Cola in 2017. In 2020, Consumer Reports published PFAS testing that placed Topo Chico among the highest of any bottled water brand in their entire study. The detected levels exceeded the thresholds Consumer Reports considers safe for regular consumption. These are forever chemicals. They do not leave your bloodstream. They accumulate with every sparkling bottle cracked open at a dinner party, every mixer poured at a weekend barbecue. This is Coca-Cola's 3rd brand on this list. One corporation behind three labels at three price points. And that brings us to number one. The brand that made us question whether any label in the water aisle means what it claims. Number one, Fiji Water. The square bottle, the tropical flowers, the word untouched printed across the front. Fiji Water built its entire identity on one promise. This water comes from an ancient artesian aquifer beneath the Yakara Valley in Viti Levu, and no human contact occurs before it reaches your lips. Researchers at the State University of New York at Fredonia ran independent microplastic analysis across major bottled water brands. Fiji Water showed significantly elevated plastic particle counts per liter, higher than most municipal tap water systems in the same study. You are buying water from a volcanic island that travels over 5,000 miles by container ship across the Pacific Ocean to reach a refrigerator shelf in Ohio or a gym bag in Texas. Fiji is owned by the Wonderful Company, the same privately held corporation behind Palm Wonderful and Wonderful Pistachios. In 2006, while Fiji marketed untouched purity to American consumers, independent reporting revealed that the tap water in the Fijian capital of Suva failed to meet basic safe drinking standards. They sold you an island paradise fantasy and delivered a plastic bottle with more microplastic contamination than the kitchen faucet you were trying to avoid. Now that you know what to avoid, here is how to choose bottled water that is actually safe. Look for three things before any bottle goes in your cart. First, source specificity. The label should name the exact spring, aquifer, or geological formation the water comes from. Not a region, not a country. The precise origin. Mountain Valley spring water has drawn from the same protected spring in the Ouachita Mountains of Arkansas since 1871 and publishes third-party lab results covering hundreds of tested contaminants. Second, published testing. Any brand that submits its finished product to an independent certified laboratory and makes PFAS and microplastic results publicly available is operating at a standard none of the 13 brands on this list consistently meet. Third, container material. Glass bottles eliminate microplastic leaching entirely. Brands offering glass remove the single largest contamination variable, the plastic itself. Before you leave, here is the one rule worth keeping. If the label does not name the exact water source and the company does not publish independent test results, the bottle does not go in your cart. That single filter removes every brand on this avoid list without memorizing a single name. The bottled water industry generates over $300 billion worldwide every year. They could test every batch and publish every result tomorrow. The companies that choose not to have already told you everything you need to know. If this changed how you think about what you're drinking, pass it to someone who reaches for the same bottle every morning without a second thought. This is Investigated with Nathan. I'm Nathan Cross. More investigations are coming. Subscribe so you don't miss them.